Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, day 78 in the Big Brother house. 5 days until the finale, right? Yes, 5 days until the finale. And lots has gone on. So, while Keanu did not get evicted Sunday night, he did get evicted Monday. Feeds went down, I think it was about 12:30 Eastern, so 9:30-ish. And they were down for several hours. We were told by Pluto TV, of all places, because they get information in reply, that the feeds would be back in the afternoon. And I believe they came back at, I want to say 4:30-ish. So they were down, which is about 7:30. So they were down for roughly 7 or 8 hours. And when they came back, and first of all, let me be clear. They came back. That was a surprise in itself. They actually gave us the feeds because it revealed what happened. And in the past, back in the olden days, the feeds would not have come back until after the show aired tomorrow night. So I have to give a minor kudo to CBS or Big Brother or Fly on the Wall, whomever made the decision to let us see the house guests for the next 48 hours, because roughly between those two, between Monday afternoon and Wednesday evening or Wednesday midnight, right? So that was a decision that was made, and thank you for that. Not that there's a whole lot going on, but it's just a comfort to know that we can flip on the feeds whenever we want and see the house guests, even if they're not necessarily doing anything major. And frankly, they won't be doing anything major on the feeds for the rest of the season, but that doesn't matter. They don't say 24/7 anymore. By the way, that little blip has been removed, or you can see the live feeds live 24/7, whatever. They've cut back on promoting it that way. But as we expected, Keanu was evicted. The vote had to have been 2-0. There's no way Vinny broke it. He probably did not talk to Julie. There's people that joke, and maybe they aren't joking, that Julie has a contract that says she only has to work 1 day a week. And so if there's an eviction off weeks, that she doesn't have to be there. I don't know, but there probably was not an audience for it. He probably walked out in one way or the other to an empty reception. And so Keanu is probably doing exit interviews maybe today, or answering that stuff, but also heading to the jury house if he isn't there already. And they had also done the head of household competition. So we had a new head of household when the feeds came back. And that was Morgan. So Vinny and Morgan have been flip-flopping head of households, because remember, it was Vinny was head of household, then Morgan won it in the double eviction, then Vinny won it back, and now Morgan has won it again. So the four of them, they have shared the last 4 head of households, and then Morgan has won some POVs, and it's been Morgan has I think someone said Morgan is now the leading comp winner for the season, and she's had immunity in some form or another for the last, I think, 6. That's what somebody was, maybe it was BB Nutters was posting out there, and a couple of other accounts. I don't care about the records that much, and so I have to go looking when people say them. But point is, she's been dominating. And as someone else pointed out, she hadn't won a competition until day 54 or 53 or something. So yeah, she's been dominating. And I will put a little note that I decided to go back and see who did I don't generally pick favorites or stuff, or sometimes I do, they don't turn well. And Joseph's brother, who was on Blue Sky from last season's Joseph, he made a comment at the very beginning of the season, before the show started, after we saw the house guests, that he thought the women were much stronger a much stronger group than the men, it looked like, going into it. And I replied, and this is before we knew Rachel was on it, by the way. So this is before we knew Rachel was on the show. I replied with a list of, I said, 4 women's names. So 4 women's, of the 8, I said, here's the 4 women that I think look pretty good. So then again, 4 out of 8, I was going to, odds are I was going to do all right. But I didn't name any men. I only named the women. And I named, and I named them in alphabetical order, so I didn't rank them. Although I will tell you that Amy was my first name. She wasn't that high on the list. I was giving her credit for being an insurance agent, but she's 43. I thought that would mean she had more common sense, but being 43, she's going to be one of the older ones. And of course, we know that she ended up being a bit of a train wreck, especially, in my opinion, her affiliation with Rachel caused her problems. And then Ava, and then Ashley, and then Morgan. So, other than Amy, did I say Ashley? No, I did say Ashley. Oh no, I named 5 of the women. I named Amy, Ava, Ashley, Mickey, and Morgan. So, again, which, I didn't name Kelly or, I can't think of her name right now. I can't think of her name. Riley's Catherine. Damn. And obviously Rachel, and one other who I can't think right now, and I'm not going to worry about it. It doesn't matter. Point is, and I said I thought Morgan was a hustler. I thought she'd do really well. I would never, other than her being way much more intense than I thought was necessary, and of course, and I wasn't the only one that made comparisons to Vanessa. So that was, and that's from Big Brother 17, right? That still applies. So, anyways, back to the thing. So we've got Morgan, one head of household. So she's going to be the last occupant of the head of household room. She is guaranteed her spot in the finale, and she gets to make nominations, which she made later last night, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who she nominates, because it all comes down to the power veto. As every year we say all this, it comes down to the power veto. Whoever wins the power veto controls the final 2 nominations, and unless it's Morgan that wins it, also gets to cast the deciding vote. I mean, there's no other way. There's no way that she nominated, by the way, Ashley and Ava, which is, again, what was expected. But it doesn't matter. She could have nominated Vinny and Ava, or Vinny and Ashley. It doesn't matter, because if Ava wins it, she's going to take herself off, and then she'll vote out either Ashley or Vinny. If Ashley wins it, she'll take herself off, and again, either vote out Vincent or Ava. And if Vinny wins it, he's not on the block, but if he was on the block, he'd take himself off and evict either Ashley or Ava. Then you have, if Morgan wins it, well, Vincent isn't nominated right now, but Morgan could have a change of heart and say, you know what, Vincent? No, I think I'm gonna save Ashley and let her decide which of you 2 goes out. She could do it. She won't, but she could. So that's where things stand. So really, at this point, probably Ava needs to win power veto if she wants to stay. That would be my guess. My guess is that Morgan would prefer a final 2 with her, Ashley, and Vincent. Now, all along, Ashley has said, and people for a long time were praising Ashley for being, so smart, being a lawyer and everything, but she hasn't built up a resume. The big reveal of I'm a lawyer and the final 2 speech, if she gets to the final 2, is not going to outweigh, well, I've won, more competitions than anyone else. I've kept myself immune for the last 7 weeks. There's a myriad of reasons that Morgan would be able to say, I've done more than Ashley. And frankly, same for Vincent. Now, Vincent might get a bitter jury against him, but he's got a better resume than Ashley. It's a messy resume, but it's better than Ashley. So, we'll see. Ava, I don't think Ava's winning. I don't think Ava's winning no matter who she's up against, which is a reason for people to keep Ava and get rid of Ashley. But I think Morgan would have a problem with that. But I'm not sure. They talk about all the options. It definitely isn't a lock for right now. But that's where we're at. We are at Tuesday now. We have all day today. We have tomorrow, which is the equivalent of a show day, right? Because it is a show day. Although it's going to be, no, you know what? Actually, no. Actually, there won't be a show. It's not going to be live. So we'll have all day Wednesday, and so we have Tuesday and Wednesday for all this to work out. The Power Veto competition will be one of these days, probably today, and they'll get it done. They won't have the Power Veto meeting. I'm guessing is going to be live on Thursday's show, because it's a one thing, right? Let's say it's Vincent. Vincent, you won the Power Veto. Let's go through the motions. What are you going to do? And Vincent's going to say, I'm not using the Power Veto, Julie. And then Julie will say, okay, Vincent, and it's now time to vote. And since you are the sole vote, we're going to do it live right in front of everybody else. So tell which one of those two people that they're leaving. That's what will happen. And then Ava will get up and walk out and go talk to Julie. And Julie will congratulate the final three. And we won't see a head of household competition because they don't do it that way anymore. They now have their champagne toast and record their Reflections episode. Is there a Reflection episode? I don't even know if there's a Reflections episode this season. Do we go straight to Thursday? Will they just show that on Sunday? I don't know. I don't look these things ahead that much. But that's where we're at. We are very much in the final stretch. And Vincent and Morgan are in bed, in the head of household bed. They have switched sides of the bed. Morgan is now, they flip-flopped. And except for the only difference is that Vincent is not sleeping with his head at the end of the bed like Morgan did. So they are side by side with a pillow between them, because that's going to make a difference from the view of the world. And but just right there, Vincent's making a mistake. I don't think. Look, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. If Vincent's girlfriend is going to still be with him after the show, then she's already made that decision with the evidence that she's been given. Vincent's not going to do anything else to dig his hole any deeper. It's not going to be, well, you did sleep with your foot at the end of the bed, or with your head at the end of the bed on those last 3 nights that you were in the head of household. So I'm going to keep you. And then frankly, I don't know. I don't like to speculate on I am doing it right now. I'm not a big speculator on post-season relationships because it's just so messy. But it is messy. While all these discussions are going on about Morgan and is she going to be with Vincent afterwards, and who else is Morgan going to date? The Big Brother world, the reality TV world, is a very messy relationship place. Okay? There are multiple house guests from last season have been in relationships. The current rumor that I was reading last night is that Leah and Cameron are dating. I don't know if they are or aren't. But of course, Rabina and Tucker were dating, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a messy, messy place. It is just from what I've heard and the rumors, it is just a messy place of relationships, and so whatever. Yeah, Morgan will probably date multiple former Big Brother house guests and maybe other reality show people, and Vincent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. But the point is, it's all out there. It's all messy, and I don't care to live in that world that much. People texting me during the premiere show about Rabina and Tucker. What's going on? Are they together? Are they talking? Are they in the same side of the room? Or I don't care. I don't care. I realize that some people just, that's what they like and want to hear about, but I don't care. So now I'm done talking about it. All right. So. But I will talk about the two of them in the same bed together, because that's happening in the house. So they are in the same bed, facing the same direction, and they are asleep. At least, I think they are. I only peeked in for a millisecond. And that, my friends, is what is going on. I am going to sign off and wish you a happy Tuesday. And we'll see what happens today, if anything. I would think they would do the power veto today because just for timing, to get it done, to get it taped so they can edit stuff down, right? That's what I would guess. But we'll see. And they certainly don't have the backyard right now. And I don't know if they'll get the backyard back at all the rest of the season. But maybe they will. With that, I am signing off. Have a great Tuesday. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, as always, for your support and listening and sharing and all those good stuff. We're last Tuesday of the season. We are going to be talking about maybe nothing this time next week. I may not do one every day for a couple days. I'll do a few possible follow-ups, but I'll wrap it up pretty quickly, most likely. And we'll see. That's it. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks. Take care.